Yo-ho! Welcome to my channel. This is Megan the Colorful Pirate, and today I'm going to be showing you all of my completed coloring pages from December and January. And looking at this stack now, I may have to start doing monthlies instead of bi-monthly. I've had more time with my kiddo in school during the day, and work has gone back to being pretty slow. So I've been able to get a lot more done, and I'm really happy with all these pages that I have to show you. So not really going to do this in any kind of order this time. I'm just going to go from the top of the stack because today is the 1st and my son is falling asleep on the couch and he doesn't even nap anymore, so I'm going to get this filmed right away. Very little preparation. So the first book here is my 50 Mystery Colors Cuties book, and I just did this really easy baby zebra page. I started with a pink color and I was like, what is going on here? But I really like how that turned out, and then how they have the just the stripes but not the white part of the other ones. They kind of look like that. You can kind of tell what it is, but I just picked one at random. And I used various alcohol markers. I have so many sets now that I can look through my swatch book and just find the closest match, which is really nice. I think this stack now is mostly, that was one of the last things I colored. This is one of the first things I colored in December. And this is Yippee Kawaii Yay by Danny Banani. And this is my first page in any of these books. I did this for the find and color prompt of Bear, and I really like how it turned out. I tried to keep with a limited color palette, which I've seen works really well on these. Just adding browns. I'm trying to work with more neutrals in general, figure those out. Browns, red browns, all that kind of thing. I want to say I used, well, I based it in a water-based marker, I think. And let me see, what's the point in writing everything down if you don't? December, yeah, so I did, put that there. Tombow dual brush pen base, and then I did Castle Art gold pencils on top with the Signo white gel pen for some, the highlights and the eyes and the whatnot. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I wasn't so sure about the orange snakes, but the purple I think kind of brings it all together nicely, and I love the owl's eyes. I did some Color by Christmas. I think I did 8. Yeah, okay, let's see. I did this one. This is by Kira Shniva, I believe. Yeah. So Color by Number Quest Animal or Christmas. So this sort of German scene, maybe, kind of pictured Bavaria or whatnot. That's from last year. Oh, and then this one. This 8-bit Santa. I just love these. This kind of style makes me so happy. It's very relaxing, and it just reminds me of my childhood and early video games. I think that's all I colored in there. Yeah. And then in Entangled Christmas, I finished a whip from last year. And it's this page here. This is by Angela Porter. And I put some sparkles in there and some glitter gel pen. So I had done the background with Prismacolor and a big intensity base. I had based a lot of it and then did the shading with the Prismacolors. And that was very kind of mindless, and I remember it very relaxing last year to do that, but then I lost all motivation. But then, hey, you know what? Whips are sort of like a gift to your future self, where you can get something done when you don't necessarily have the energy or inspiration to start a whole new page. So I based most of it in the Big Intensity. And I already said I used Prismacolor, and then I used Castle Art Goals as well to, I think, I worked with those this year. I haven't pulled my Prismacolors out, like, hardly at all this year, and I don't know if it's just that, like, they're my fancy pencils, because the same thing's happening with the Polychromos, and I've just been using my budget brands. Hold on a second. And, yeah, then, sorry, my husband just interrupted me, and I had to pause it, and now I forgot where I was. He almost woke the baby up. I would have killed him. Anyway, sorry. Jelly Roll Metallic in the antlers. Some paint pens, glaze pens, Cosmic Shimmer down here, which came out a little too intense if you ask me. But I really like how I did the pastel Christmas lights. And I outlined the stars with metallic. So that's that one. I did a mandala in 50 Stylish Mandalas by Camellia Angel Kova. I did this one right here. I don't think, are there even, yeah, I think I used a Tan Mitt glitter gel pen. I don't even know if you can see it. Maybe you can. This is like a color palette out of one of my color palette books I've gotten recently, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. How does the video this? Whoa, that is way too close. Okay. Sorry. Still learning the new phone. I never would have picked these colors together, but I think it turned out really good. So yeah, this is all CaliArt and Tau Tree markers. And it was palette number 53 in Practical Color Combos, which is this one. So I kind of was inspired by this bit here. Yeah, I like how it turned out. Ooh, sorry. Alright. Next, I worked in my Autumn Color by Colors by Kira Shishneva. And I did this basket full of Autumn Bounty. Oh yes, these acorns. And I thought that they were getting really lost, so I outlined it in white. And I really like how that looks, like a white gel pen. These again, just various alcohol markers. Then I really got into doing fine color over the last month and a half. So this is Dreamland by Coco Wyo, and I did this for Olga's prompt of Door. This is, let's see, I did a lot of things. It's a alcohol marker. Let me find, where is it on my list? Right, CaliArt, no, Ohuhu alcohol markers. Castle Art gold pencils for the shading. Jelly Roll Moonlight. Shuttle Art gel crowns for this universe out here that I put in. Posca paint markers. Pentel dual hybrid metallics, etc., etc. And I outlined with the shiny, which, like, oh, and there's some glitter in the universe too. I forgot, I didn't write that down. Sorry, I hope I'm not mumbling. Try not to be too loud. Have a kid busting in here. But yeah, I outlined each of the orcas, and I really like the way it looks in person, but I'm really glad I took a picture of it before I decided to do that, because with just trying to get a picture with that on there made it look horrible. So that's your lesson. Take pictures of every step along the way. I also really like to do that because then I can see. I have this weird tendency to, when I'm finished with a page, for some reason feel like looking at it like I didn't do anything really that great, and that's so weird to me. So, oh nope. Power slashing. We're in the middle of an ice storm right now too, and the power was out this morning, but came back on. So anyway, take pictures. Oh yes, but when I take process pictures, I'm like, oh, that's what it looked like before, and now like, wow, I have really done something really cool, you know. This is my first time really doing glass, like a glass window, and I think that turned out really good. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. This is this my first Coco Waya picture I've done? For how many other books I own, I do think it is. 50 Winter Miniatures, which is, I got this for the first time. I recently got this book. And the prompt was acorn 1 week. So I did this cute little squirrel, and this is much more successful than my other attempt to do one of these cute miniature images. I did it with alcohol markers, Castle Art gold pencils to do the shading, and some Jelly Roll Moonlight in there. And I tried to give like a yellow light effect on the squirrel, and I think that's the first time I've ever tried to do that too. So overall, I think I did a pretty good job here. I also went back to actually like doing a little bit of marker shading first, which I think then turns out really well when you kind of smooth it out with colored pencil. So yeah, I did not do colored pencil in the leaves because I was like, you know what, I'm over it. I doesn't need it. So in Christmas Color by Number by George Tufexis, I did this cute little kitty. This is the most Christmassy thing I colored all winter. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's a cute little kitty. This wanted to be like orange, but looking at the cat, I said it's not going to be orange. I'm going to get like a yellow orange. So I kind of changed that. And then, yeah, just outlining some bits where it starts to get looking kind of hinky and blurry where it needs to. Like he says in the beginning, some tips on which things to outline and which not to, but it's a lot of browns. Again, I'm kind of trying to work with browns. This wasn't really my choice, but maybe that's why I picked it subconsciously. But also just kitties. I tried to start like this one last year with water-based markers, and this purple is not a kind of purple you would use in the snow, so I gave up on it. But also, I also messed up. That's too dark, but I could probably still do this one. I'd done that one last year. I don't know. Colored pencil and like water-based markers in those books like don't give me the effect I want. And then the prompt was parrot, and I actually got 2 done for the prompt. And now we're definitely into things like colored in January. So animal woodcut designs. This is by Tim Foley, and I figured this would be a pretty quick color, and it was. And it was actually really fun and relaxing. It was kind of a nice warm-up. And so I did this all, the majority of it is just marker, alcohol marker, and I actually blended on the paper a lot. And then a little bit of shading just to kind of, you know, I didn't want to overwork it, but I did do some. And then I actually, why is it doing that? I locked, shouldn't be like jumping like that. Okay, because I locked the focus. Okay, sorry if it's been jumping for a while. I probably did that after I did the zoom in. So these are supposed to be yellow, right? And I actually started with the blue just immediately, and so I just put some paint pen over the top of it. I think I saved it. I made it look still. I bet you wouldn't even notice if I hadn't pointed it out. So and then Mystic Animals by Stratton Peterson, the book that's still not supposed to be out, but is apparently. Like it says March for, I don't think you can get it on Amazon US, but you can get it on Book Depository. I did this blue macaw, and I'm really happy with this one. I did, oh, I didn't even do an alcohol, what? I did not do an alcohol base, so what did I do this with water? Okay, wow. How did I forget already? Okay, yeah, I did this with water-based markers. Water-based. Which were these kind of like smaller spaces was easier to kind of work without getting streaks. And then I went over with the Black Widow colored pencils. And that was it. So I kept it pretty simple here. I looked up all the birds. I got a little creative with the hummingbirds, but I didn't want them to stand out too much. You know, I wanted them to kind of recede into the background, but you can still see them. You're still noticeable. I kind of thought about doing maybe a bokeh background or something, but I don't have the patience for backgrounds, so I haven't. Maybe I'll go back to it someday, but yeah, I tried to keep like purple and green in the background, and then this flower kind of stumped me for a little while. I actually looked up all the flowers too. I was able to figure out, I think this is a rhododendron, and these were hibiscus, and this was oxalis. It's like a pretty rare plant, I think. I've seen people talk about it in the gardening groups. I don't even garden, but I'm in some of them on Reddit. It's really popular with the goth gardeners, which I have aspirations someday to be like. But I'm really proud of how I kind of got that yellow-green tint that they have on the top of their heads, and put the blue and the scratchiness here, and then with the feet too, I colored them blue and then like went over with the gray, but there's still those blue highlights, and I think it's really cool. When I was in college, I wanted to study animal cognition, and so of course parrots are the big study subject in that. And I actually did my honors undergrad thesis. I did like a parrot personality study where I had a friend who had several parrots, and she did some personality surveys on them. And anyway, it was a long deal, but it wasn't like legit science because there were so many problems with it. But I did it, and it's printed out in a book, a hardcover book that I have in my closet. And maybe someday I will continue on that path. But yeah, I was really happy to see parrots come up. And then the week after, primate, or monkey ape is what she had in her thing, came up on the prompt. And I also, you know, I really wanted to be a primatologist and study primates. And so I knew that I had to find me a good monkey picture. And this is a mythographic menagerie by Fabiana Attanasio. And I'm really happy with this picture. Really happy with how this turned out. So I did like a alcohol marker based with ohuhus, and I kept it really light with the gorillas, and then I colored it all with was it Black Widows? Yeah, and then like some Posca to give like the highlights, which I still need to work on. I only have one size of Posca, so I probably need to get the smaller ones. But I really like how that worked out in the wings, and outline the flowers, and just kind of had everything fade into black down here. I was going to do more with the background up here, but actually, I don't know. Again, I don't have the patience for something as boring as a background, in my opinion. I like the foreground stuff, so, you know, I spent most of my time working on these cute gorillas. I'm really proud of this one. This is one of the best things I've done in a while. And I did two in this book, fairly new to me, Fantastiques. This is a really complex color by number. So I did this. I'm assuming it's Alice in Wonderland. You got like, kind of like hearts, and I don't know. She's not blonde, but does she have to be blonde? And yeah, I did this with I got a whole set of Staedtler water-based markers, so that I actually was seeing, because there's a little bit of bleed through or ghosting underneath there, and I wanted to see if if I'm putting another color on top, does it bother me? And it doesn't. So I went ahead and yeah, really happy with how this turned out. 120 water-based markers from Staedtler are great for this. I just keep them in the dining room and work on them a little bit at a time. I did this crazy, I didn't mean to pick two Alice in Wonderland themed things. I just kind of picked a random one. Which, I mean, you can, well, it's not, you can kind of see what it's going to be if you look at it long enough. Like, I think this is a mermaid. See, I did this one. It's so funny. I love the art and the detail in these. I outlined the background mushrooms just to give them a little bit of more form. And yeah, I really like it. I started another one recently too. We'll see how this one's kind of looking weird at this point, but. And finally, the big group buddy color in Mid-Century Modern Animals. We did this page. And I did it with, again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, and I went over a lot of the lines with Jelly Roll Moonlight, and a little bit of glitter gel pen and some glaze. I thought about doing these black ones in glaze too, but I don't want to overdo it. Stickles in this background here, and I was kind of thinking, I found this, I think I was just kind of randomly, or maybe I looked up a winter palette on the Coloring Companion, Sarah Renee Clark's thing that I have, and this one was, I liked that it had black in it, and so I was trying to kind of do like a negative, like, so where this one was like the light pink, this one was the mid-tone blue, because I didn't want to go with the complete darkest color. So I just did it with 5 markers. And just tried to kind of keep reversing it. Like even here on the tail, like I started with the color and then the black, and here I went with the black and then the color. And tried to kind of reverse a dark color here, bright color there, and just kind of had fun with it. I got it done fairly quickly, and I will share all of the wonderful other people's pages. Should already have been happening. I feel kind of silly to sit here while you look at them. But yeah, thank you so much. That's so much fun to do. It's a great book for buddy colors because they turn out all so different. There's literally no right way to color these things. I think that's the one we did last month. I really like mine. Really happy with how that turned out. So yeah, I think that's the most coloring I've done in a 2-month period ever, and I'm really happy that you stuck around to the end to watch my video, and I hope that you're staying warm if you're in the Northern Hemisphere right now, and we will see you in the next video.